Welcome to today's video, 2 Timothy 2 verse 13 explained. If we believe not, yet he abideth faithful, he cannot deny himself. This verse from 2 Timothy speaks to a profound truth about the nature of God's faithfulness, especially in our moments of doubt and weakness. Paul, the author of this letter, was writing to Timothy, a young leader in the early church. Paul knew that Timothy, along with other believers, would face struggles, moments of doubt, and challenges to their faith. He wanted to remind Timothy that God's faithfulness does not depend on our faithfulness or belief. First, let's understand what Paul means by if we believe not. There are times in life when our faith may feel weak, when our circumstances overwhelm us, or when we simply struggle to trust God. These are moments when we may falter in our belief or feel distant from God. Paul recognizes that human nature is frail and susceptible to doubt, especially in difficult times. Yet he abideth faithful speaks of the unchanging character of God. Regardless of our feelings, our circumstances, or our actions, God remains steadfast and true. His faithfulness is not something he chooses to turn on and off depending on our behavior. God is committed to his promises and to his people. Even when we struggle to hold on to him, he never lets go of us. This is a comforting reminder that God's love and faithfulness are rooted in his character, not in our worthiness or performance. The phrase "he cannot deny himself" highlights God's absolute consistency. Denying himself would mean going against his very nature. God is inherently faithful, just, and loving. This is who he is at his core, and he cannot act in a way that contradicts his nature. God is not fickle or prone to change like humans. His promises are always true because they are a reflection of his unchanging essence. In this sense, God's faithfulness is not only a promise to us but an essential part of who he is. In practical terms, this verse encourages us to remember that God's commitment to us doesn't waver, even when our faith does. Our spiritual journey will have highs and lows, times of strong conviction, and times of doubt. But in each of those moments, God is faithful to continue working in us, loving us, and guiding us back to him. This should give us peace, knowing that we don't have to have perfect faith for God to stay true to us. His faithfulness covers our weaknesses, allowing us to lean on him in both strong and weak moments. This truth is also a call to persevere. Knowing that God is faithful, we can be encouraged to hold on to him even when things seem unclear or challenging. When we realize that God's faithfulness is constant, it inspires us to grow in our own faithfulness, trusting that God will help us along the way. We may stumble, but God is there, steadfast and reliable. This verse reminds us that God's relationship with us is grounded in his unwavering character, not in our ever-changing emotions or circumstances. It speaks to his grace and mercy. Even in our doubts or failures, God remains with us, gently calling us back to him and extending his love and forgiveness. This is a beautiful aspect of our relationship with God. It is a relationship marked by his grace and his faithfulness, not by our perfection. So, as you reflect on this verse, remember that God's faithfulness is a foundation you can rely on in every season. Whether you feel strong in faith or find yourself struggling, God's commitment to you does not change. His love is steadfast, his promises are secure, and his presence is constant. Allow this truth to encourage you to lean on God, knowing he is faithful even when we are not. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment below, and may God's unfailing faithfulness be with you always.